You've probably seen this before. You walk into a room, sit down, and somehow the conversation keeps flowing as if you never arrived. People don't interrupt on purpose. They just don't make space for you. And the uncomfortable truth is, that decision was already made before you said a word. Most people think respect is earned by saying the right thing or proving they're confident enough. In reality, respect is a reflex. It's triggered by the signals your body and pace send about whether you belong here or you're asking permission. When your presence looks settled, people adjust automatically. And when it doesn't, talking more usually makes it worse. In the next part, I'll show you the first signal people read, often without realizing it. Think about the moment you enter a room where people are already talking. Your hand tightens around your laptop. Your shoulders pull in just a little. You move faster than you need to, as if arriving itself needs an apology. Nobody does anything wrong, but nobody adjusts for you either. Now notice what changes when someone else enters differently. They pause for half a second. They set their things down before sitting. Their body isn't asking a question. It's making a statement without words. People don't consciously reward that. They respond to it. Your posture teaches others whether to make room for you. And most of that lesson happens before anyone hears your voice. Here's the part people miss. Once you're noticed, something else decides whether you stay that way. Watch how often people rush their own presence. They speak a little faster than normal. They add extra sentences to make sure they're understood. When a pause shows up, they fill it immediately just to keep things moving. It looks like enthusiasm, but it reads as urgency. Urgency quietly signals that your time is flexible. And when your time looks flexible, your attention becomes easier to interrupt. Slowing down isn't about being dramatic or aloof. It's about not chasing the moment. When you allow a pause to exist, you show that you're not afraid of losing the floor, and people tend to stop taking it from you. If pace changes how you're treated, then attention changes it even more. Most conversations aren't really conversations. They're turn-taking competitions. One person talks while the other waits to respond. But when someone actually listens, the entire rhythm shifts. The speaker slows down. Their words land differently. Eye contact here isn't about staring or intensity. It's about anchoring yourself in the moment, then letting your attention breathe. You look, you release, you come back. And when the other person finishes, you don't rush to fill the space. People respect the ones who make them feel fully heard without trying to impress them. And once you see that, the next signal makes sense, even though it's the hardest one to tolerate. There's a moment in group conversations when everyone starts talking at once. Complaints stack on top of each other. Explanations get louder. Most people feel a pull to jump in just to stay visible. Silence feels risky there, like you might disappear. But watch what actually happens when one person doesn't compete. They listen while others exhaust themselves. They don't nod excessively or rush to agree. And when the noise drops, even briefly, their words land heavier because they aren't fighting for space. Silence works because it's rare. It shows you can tolerate the gap without panicking. And people instinctively read that as control. Still, this is where things quietly break for a lot of people, and they never notice it happening. Every time you rush to respond, over-explain, or smooth things over, you're teaching people something. You're showing them that your time is available on demand, that interruptions are acceptable, that your attention will stretch to accommodate them. This isn't about blame, it's about conditioning. People don't usually disrespect you on purpose. They follow the patterns you make easy. It was never about confidence. It was about tolerance for space. The more you collapse it, the less weight your presence carries. Once you see that, respect stops feeling mysterious. It starts looking mechanical. All of these signals point to the same thing. Respect doesn't come from asserting yourself harder. It comes from being settled enough to let moments breathe. Your body, your pace, your attention, and your silence all tell the same story before you speak. When those signals line up, people adjust without thinking about it. Not because you demanded space, but because you stopped giving it away unconsciously. And that's the quiet shift most advice skips. It's not about changing who you are, it's about changing what you tolerate in the moment. Here's the part that ties everything together. It was never about being louder, sharper, or more impressive. It was about whether your presence looked settled enough to stop negotiating for space. Once you stop collapsing your body, your time, and your attention, people don't suddenly like you more. They simply start treating you differently. Respect doesn't arrive with a speech. It shows up quietly when you stop rushing moments that don't need to be rushed, when you let pauses exist, when you hold your ground without announcing it. That's why this works even when you do it once. It changes the signal before anyone has time to argue with it. So here's the question I'll leave you with. Where in your life are you still trying to earn space instead of taking it calmly?